You clicked on this video for one reason. You want to know the best bets for UFC Vegas 103. And you're probably not super interested in this card, but I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes these cards are the ones that you can actually turn a nice profit on because the interest isn't there for a lot of people. They don't want to tune in. They're not as interested in throwing their money on it. So there's opportunity to be made. It's a low-level Apex card. We got a lot of big favorites. I think a lot of the favorites will actually come through. But in this video, I'm going to give you 3 bets. I will give you a parlay around prop bet and a prop bet. In addition, I will give you every single one of my DFS plays, which if you're familiar with the channel, you know you always want to tail those. I'll give you all those, and I'll let you know where you can get all of my bets for absolutely free in the Home of Fight Picks Winnable. We'll show you where to go and how to get those for free throughout the video. But before we get into this card, we always have to recap last week's best bet show. We took an L on the parlay. The over 2.5, I said on the video, what am I fading here? I'm fading probably a Basharat submission. And what happened? Ricky Simón knocked out Basharat brutally. Ricky Simón by knockout was like plus 1,200. You just got to tip your cap. You tip your cap and you move on. All right, props to Ricky Simón for pulling off the round 1 KO. We lose the parlay. We lose a unit there. Anthony Hernandez got the second leg, but it doesn't matter because it's a parlay. The round prop bet will probably be one that I'm going to look back on and be like, wow, I think I got screwed. Because the fight was looking like it was going to go to the distance. And then the eye poke happened, and they turn a 5-round fight into a 3-round fight. They go to a decision. Now, if this bet was fight goes to decision, we would have cashed. But sportsbooks have been pretty keen to not allow the bet to say fight goes to decision. So they're going to say fight goes distance. And it did not go the full 25 minutes that it was scheduled to go to. So they are going to take our money. And they did. So we lose 1.5 units on that one. That one hurts because, you really feel like you lost due to an illegal move. But either way, it's a loss. You got to own it. The money line bet did hit, though. Austin Vanderford on the money line, plus 135. Absolutely mauled him. And, it looked pretty easy. Got him at underdog odds, and he looked to be a pretty large favorite in that one. So that was a good bet. Overall, we were down 1.15 units last week on the 3 bets that I gave you. So in 2025, we're down 3.14. Let's try to get back into a winning week. We had a winning week prior. We took an L. Let's try to get back on the winning track. But if you did tail the DFS plays that I gave you in last week's Best Bets video, you made some money. We were positive 2.3 units on the 2 pick entries. We hit 2 out of the 4, and one was a 3.3x, so we positive 2.3. And overall, 6-2 on the picks. So that's another solid week in DFS. Let's keep that rolling into this week. Moving on. Let's get to the parlay. Just started off with a nice little chalk parlay. All right. I feel pretty good about Kape this week. I know everybody really does. Probably just because he's pretty trustworthy. He's pretty trustworthy. You know he's going to go in there and fight for your dollar. He's about minus 400 right now. I think that's parlay worthy. I think he's got Ricardo Ramos covered in almost every aspect. Cardio, durability, will to win. His skill set is there. You know he's never going to tap to anything. Let's hope not. Knock on wood. May have just jinxed that. But knock on wood. Kape is going to go in there and fight for your dollar. I like him to win this one. I think he could probably find a finish. But, Ricardo Ramos could maybe just find a way to survive. You never know. So I'm just going to take him on the money line there. Kape Mariscal. Pairing that with Esteban Ribovics, I should say. Somebody corrected me in the last video. It is Ribovics. You are correct. But I think he's got Nazareth covered here. I really do. I know it's going to be a strikers matchup, and Nazareth's kind of the more proven guy in the UFC, but I really believe in Ribovics. Always have. The guy's durable, super high volume, good power, super durable, and I don't really see this fight hitting the ground. If it does, Ribovics has shown he can get taken down, but he does have a great motor to try to get back up, so I think if he does get taken out, he'll get back up. And Nazareth's not really the greatest grappler. So I think on the feet, Ribovics has got him here. Minus 135 on that parlay. 2 legs, 1.5 units on that. 2 favorites that I feel pretty good in. Kape Mariscal and Esteban Ribovics. Parlay bet for the week. There you go. Let's get into the underdog fantasy plays. If you're in one of these highlighted states right here, you're going to want to go down to the link in the description. Click the underdog link. Get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. You can hit plays like these. We're positive 74.82 units on 2 pick entries alone since 2024. So we absolutely cook these apps. There's a reason when I put plays in, the lines tend to move very, very sharply because they got my account. They know what I'm putting in, and they don't want everybody to tail me. So big reason why you want to join the Home of Fight Picks Premium membership is so that you get them when I lock them in. I locked them in on Tuesday this week because they didn't have all the lines up until Tuesday afternoon or so. But I got them all in, sent them all out, and I'll show you them right now. John Castaneda. We'll start with the 5-legger here. John Castaneda lower on significant strikes. He's gone lower than 59.5 in all but 2 of his UFC fights. Douglas Silva de Andrade is not a guy that gets hit all that often. Why? Because he's the muscle hamster, and not a lot of guys like to throw blind volume on him because he's an explosive dude who can hurt you. This fight could also end early. John Castaneda could also look to clinch, could look to get the fight to the ground. I don't really see John Castaneda racking up a ton of significant strikes in this one. Realistically, he'd have to get 20 per round. Could he do that? Maybe, but I would bear on the side of him not doing that. So I like the lower than 59.5 for John Castaneda. They're higher or lower on Hyder Emil. Lower than 49.5. On William Gomi, who gets hit with less than 2 significant strikes per minute. I know Hyder likes to throw a ton of volume, but he's going to have to get inside the range of William Gomi. That is going to be very tough. William Gomi's opponents have gone under this number in every single fight. I'm just going to play it. I think Hyder Emil is going to have trouble finding the range with William Gomi. He's probably going to have to crash the pocket, going to have to get in the clinch. I think we could see more grappling in this one, and we have the upside for the early finish. Hyder Emil is a dangerous guy, so I like the lower on Hyder Emil there. Lower on Ricardo Ramos. Ramos is not a high-volume guy at all. He's a guy that can get finished early. Chepe could easily finish him early. Chepe is a volume machine and is very tough to match a guy's volume when you don't have the cardio to back it up. So I like the lower on Ricardo Ramos there than 39.5. Last time out, Damon Jackson, I think, barely scraped 30 in a 3-round fight where Chepe just absolutely mauled him. And Damon is a better fighter than Ricardo Ramos for as much beef as we have had in the past. So I like the lower for Ricardo Ramos. Lower on Ramazan Bek Temirov. I think this fight could finish early. You know, if Ramazan knocks out Charles Johnson, then it's probably going to be in round 1 or 2. Charles Johnson is a guy that is not very easy to hit, and Ramazan Bek is not a high-volume guy. He's a guy that wants to hunt the big shots, hunt the KO. So he's not going to be out there just throwing blind volume, throwing these naked leg kicks to rack up significant strikes. He's going to make his significant strikes count, and I don't think, I think 62.5 is a little bit too high. Even if the fight does go the distance. You know, a lot of times when Charles Johnson does go the distance with guys, they still don't land over 60 significant strikes. So I don't think Ramazan is going to be landing a ton of volume on Charles Johnson, and I think the fight could end early, so I like lower than 62.5 for Temirov. Danny Silva lower than 70.5. So he had his Contender Series fight, he had like 200 significant strikes, and that's just completely inflated his significant strike count. It was against Angel Pacheco. Angel Pacheco was more hittable than Danny Silva. And then his next fight, he fights Josh Kulabau. He gets about 40 in a 3-round fight. Danny Silva does have really nice boxing, but he's going to have to respect the striking of Lucas Almeida. The fight could end early. 70.5 for a fight that I do think probably does end early is pretty high. So I like the lower on Danny Silva. Lucas Almeida's opponents have gone under this number in all of his UFC fights, so I like that one. 5 picks to win 20x there. 2-leggers here. We're going Ramazan lower and Mario Pinto higher than 24.5. Austin Lane's chin is going to be making my cheeks pucker, but Mario is not really the biggest one-punch knockout guy. He likes to pump the jab. He likes to pump the front kicks, pump the leg kicks. He's not really a guy that seeks the finish all that often. So I do think he probably goes higher than 24.5. And Austin Lane, he's willing to stay to the outside. I think Mario probably chips away at him with those leg kicks and racks up at least, 30 within the first 7.5 minutes. We'll see if it lasts that long, but that's what it's, scheduled to go to. I want to say scheduled. That's what it's projected to go to, 7.5 minutes. So I like Mario Pinto higher than 24.5. That's the two-legger to pay 3X. Julian Marquez lower. Cody Brundage opponents have gone under this in 8 of his last 11 fights. The fight could probably end early in that one. Sam Patterson lower. He's gone over this only once, and it was in his Contender Series fight. His fights don't tend to last very long, and I don't think he's going to want to strike with Danny Barlow. So I like the lower on Sam Patterson there. Wins up to 3X on that two-legger. Once again, if you're in one of these highlighted states, go to the link down in the description. Download the Underdog app. You definitely want to tail these. Get your deposit bonus with my code HeyJive when you sign up. Lock them in, and we'll make some money. Here's the round prop bet, as I alluded to in the Underdog breakdown. I don't think this fight's going the distance. I think there's too much danger on both sides, and I think both guys could be finished. Danny Silva could definitely finish Lucas Almeida. We've seen Lucas Almeida knocked out. We've seen him submitted. On the other hand, Lucas Almeida is a dangerous striker, and Danny Silva does get hit. So he could definitely knock out Danny Silva. Most of Lucas Almeida's wins in his career have come by finish. So he is a dangerous dude who can get it done. I like the danger on both sides. I like that both sides could be finished. At minus 130, fight to not go the distance. I'm in love with it. Minus 130, 1.5 units on that one. There's your round prop bet for the week. Not a lot of explanation. I just think both guys are pretty violent. There's going to be a ton of big shots being thrown on the ground. Both guys, I think, could get submitted. Lucas Almeida can get submitted by Danny Silva, and Almeida's not a fish out of water on the ground. I think he could latch something up. He's got long limbs, and Danny Silva does tend to be a little bit sporadic on the ground. So the finish is live. Fight no distance. Lock it in. If you want all my bets, jump in the Home of Fight Picks Winnable. There's a link down in the description below. Use code VEGAS for a 7-day free trial. Here's the results from the past 2 years on your screen and 2025 thus far. 8.11 units throughout, 5 or 6? I think it's 6 UFC cards so far. So we're profiting more than 1 unit per card, and looking to continue that. 2025 so far, 8.11 units. You can also get my guy Nolan's bets. He's been killing the Apex cards in 2025. He's positive 9.2 units thus far throughout in 2025. So we got 2 years of results, and 2025 has been going pretty well as well. So if you want all my bets for every single week, jump in the Home of Fight Picks Winnable. Use code VEGAS this week to get you a 7-day free trial so you can try it out and see if you like it and if you want to stay. The prop bet this week. I don't have a lot of prop bets out there, but I do have one that I eyed up, and I threw it down. Danny Barlow to win in round 1. Plus 210. I'm putting a half a unit on that. I don't think Sam Patterson's striking is good at all. And the left hand of God is deadly. All right? That left hand, if it touches Sam Patterson's chin, he's going to feel it. If you got knocked out by 5'4" Yanal Ash Moose, the 6'3" Danny Barlow can definitely touch your chin, and his straight left is nasty. We got southpaw versus orthodox. If you know anything about striking, when you got a southpaw versus an orthodox, the straight backhand, whether it's your left hand or your right hand, is very important. Okay, because when you step off, when you step off with your lead foot, you come with that straight left down the pipe, it's going to be a real problem. And Sam Patterson tends to lean back a little bit. He's got that tall man defense. He was a 155er, moving up to 170. Where the boys hit harder, Danny Barlow's going to find that chin. I think he finds it in round 1. So I like Danny Barlow round 1 finish, plus 210, half a unit on that. Danny Barlow, left hand of God, get it done, baby. There's your prop bet for the week. Now we'll get into the better picks plays. If you're in one of these purple states, there's a link down in the description. Sorry, I'm burping. The Zinachino's getting to me. There's a link down in the description. Sign up to Better Picks. Use code HeyJive. Get your deposit bonus up to $250. You can hit plays like these, plus 74.82 units on DFS since 2024. I'm telling you, boys, if you're new to the channel, trust me, you'll want to download these apps and you want to get these plays in. If you're a recurring viewer and you're kind of on the fence and you're in one of these states, just pull the trigger. All right, DFS, my DFS plays are some of the best. I call myself the DFS king, but I got the results to back it up. Here's the better picks plays for this week. The 8-legger, 100x. Temerov lower, Silva lower, Castaneda lower, Ramos lower, Patterson lower, Emil lower, Pinto higher, and Julian Marquez lower. I think we all talked about all those. So I'm not going to go into any further explanation. I'm pretty sure we talked about all those. But there's the 8-legger right there on Better Picks. $50 pays $5,000. 100x multiplier. The 2-leggers here, we got Hyder Emil and Danny Silva. Love those. And Ricardo Ramos lower than 40.5 and lower than 60.5 on John Castaneda. So as you can see, the reason why you want to have multiple apps, you don't want to just have Underdog. You want to have better picks as well because you're going to get some better lines on these apps. So one app might have it a little bit higher, one app might have it a little bit lower. So on Underdog, Emil was like 49.5. We get an extra one there at 50.5. Ramos was 39.5. We get an extra at 40.5. It doesn't seem like much, but it could make a difference. And a lot of times when these lines do tend to drop, you can get a better line on one of the other apps. So you want to have both apps. Link down in the description below. Better picks. Use code HeyJive to get your deposit bonus up to $250. Put these plays in. 3x multipliers on the 2. I put 1 unit on each 2-legger, just so everybody knows. I put 1 unit on each 2-legger, and then I usually put a quarter of a unit on the big ones. So link down in the description. Sign it up. Lock it in. And lastly, you can join my free Telegram. There's a link down in the description below as well to join the free Telegram. It's free. I'll put my long shots in there, put my DFS plays in there as well, so you can cash in with me. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you cash in. We got the long shots only live show tomorrow night. Should be a good time. Jump in there. Give us your long shots. It's going to be a good week. I feel good about this card. Let's cash in, boys. Till next time, Hey Job Picks. We out.